Let's go ahead and dive in the very first part of this, which is basically, the supplements. This question is asked so significantly, and I had to write down a lot of try to get as much. Now, this is by no means an exhausted list, but I think the big heavy hitters that people ask about and are very common. So really just kind of have that pre-emphasis about that. So the first thing we're going to talk about supplements, of what supplements can break a fast. The first and foremost obvious one is gummy multivitamins. Why that is because gummy multivitamins can have some sugar. It can also have some proteins and even possibly some fats. And anytime that there's any kind of carbs or sugars, that can both, break ketosis or at least downgrade it, but certainly will stop autophagy. So for both ketosis fasting and autophagy fasting, that can be an ultimate issue. The other one is branched chain amino acids. So branched chain amino acids can also break a fast for autophagy, because it has been shown with branched chain amino acids or a lot of different other amino acids that are out there can actually activate insulin, and an insulin response will actually stop autophagy. Even just the protein aspect of it, we know from Dr. Jason Fung, from his research and looking at things, is it actually can stop autophagy. As far as ketosis fasting, you're fine there. So you can still take, branched chain amino acids and should be fine if you're just only looking for the benefits of ketosis while you're fasting. The other thing is protein powders. Protein powders, for sure, obviously it's going to break autophagy. But as far as ketosis, you have to be very careful here. If you're going to use protein powders, most of them have a certain amount of calories, some of them have carbs, so that's also going to break ketosis. So pretty much that's a no-go as far as when it comes to taking, and it can break a fast. The other thing is also other supplements that have certain ingredients. I'm not going to go over all the supplements, but this is just kind of ingredients to maybe look out for. So we've talked about if it has sugar, or if even has fruit juice concentrates, or any kind of any types of sugars like alcohol sugars, stuff like that, that can possibly also break the fast. Also, pectin, or another ingredient that also is maltodextrin, is also another common ingredient that you'll see in supplements. So if it has any of those, of course you want to be able to avoid that. If you see those in your supplements, definitely avoid it. Again, if you have any further questions about certain supplements, leave them in the comment section below. Now we're going to move on to as far as what you can take as far as supplements during a fast. So I talked about the ones you shouldn't. These are the ones that are okay. And of course, it's going to depend on if you're focusing on trying to get more higher levels of autophagy or just focusing on just ketosis alone. Now, I want to emphasize, for me, I usually recommend for my patients to try to avoid supplements altogether, except for a few exceptions such as electrolytes. Why that is, or maybe even a multivitamin, but for most part, because especially if you're trying to get benefits of autophagy and other benefits through fasting, I like to give the body a break from everything, even processing supplements, because we have found through research that you can actually do fine without really supplementing for quite some time, as long as when you're refeeding, you're also supplementing during your feeding states, and you're not frequently fasting without supplementation or eating good quality food. Then you can deal with some really malnourishment issues. But as long as you're doing that during the feeding window, you should be fine. And while you're fasting, for myself, I usually don't take any supplements. I might take some electrolytes if I feel a little dragged and maybe have a headache coming on. So for me, I really think by not having the body process anything, give it a break. Because you think about it as just kind of analogy, when you're cleaning the house, you don't want any distractions, or you're trying to do anything, you don't want any other distractions. Same with the body. Processing something, it's another task that you're asking the body. It's best to just leave it completely empty so it can do its job, right? So, but if you are needing supplements, these are things that you can start incorporating as far as supplements. So really, the big ones is you can take a multivitamin, but with a big preface here is making sure it does not have added sugars or other fillers in it, okay? So you have to be careful about when you're choosing your multivitamin. There is some multivitamins that are more that tend to be more food-based, so it could have some carbs and stuff like that that could break your fast. Another supplement that's okay to take is probiotics or prebiotics. This usually doesn't have any calories, so it doesn't really increase activating insulin. The other thing is also creatine. You can take this because it is calorie free, so those are fine to take during fasting. Fish oils. So fish oils, these are fine in low doses, is what I would say. Definitely fine for if you're doing ketosis fasting, if you're just trying to just get the ketosis benefits. But as far as autophagy, it's hard to really say. Fats still can, in high quantities amounts, can activate insulin, and so therefore could also deactivate autophagy. So you got to be careful there. I would just recommend low dosages. Another thing you do is pure collagen. Not if you're trying to get the benefits of autophagy, because that will definitely shut it off. But if you're just worried about just ketosis, that's it. Pure collagen is fine. Other things that you can also incorporate as far as supplements is individual micronutrient types of supplements. So we're talking about, your common ones that are more individual micronutrients, such as potassium, vitamin B, vitamin D, A. But you got to be careful with, vitamin D, A, and also vitamin E and K. Those are fat-soluble types of micronutrients, so therefore they need to be absorbed with taking food. So there really is no need to take those types of vitamins while you're fasting.